than swift.
Well, the curtain has been raised to the tournament and the carpet was rolled out to Pakistan, who finally come to India after 7 long years. They start their World Cup campaign against a Dutch side that enough big teams and full members have learned in recent past in ICC events you do not take lightly. So Pakistan versus Netherlands at Hyderabad is match number 2 of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup, and that's what we build up on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday. When I say big member teams, full member teams, no, you don't take the Dutch lightly. Poor South Africans learned that in the harshest possible way, Dale Steyn, so that's a fair comment. Don't take the Dutch lightly.
No, definitely not. Yeah, they are a team that can, you know, create massive upsets, I should say. But I think at the start of the tournament, they haven't had a lot of cricket under their belts. Pakistan's fast bowlers, they might find it difficult today.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I had Anil back in studio and together we welcome Dale. Now together with Dale and me, we'll welcome back Wasim Jaffer. So it's a warm welcome back to you, Wasim.
Thank you.
You've been all over the subcontinent, haven't you now? How are your latest expeditions to Bangladesh and back and beyond?
Yeah, it's been good. A little bit hectic with the World Cup coming closely for the under-19s, with the Asia Cup around for the under-19. So ticking along.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's back where he belongs. Wasim Jaffer, he's our regular in-house contributor. And I think that's a tag I can now even afford across the border now, because one of the most consistent selections in Pakistan cricket after Babar Azam is clearly Urooj Mumtaz. So I welcome the former Pakistan captain back, and it's very nice to have her. Urooj, ready for one more long hurdle, the big World Cup, the Men's World Cup, and it's good to have you back with us.
Thank you very much, Raunak. It's good to be back. Welcome and hi to Dale and Wasim as well. But yeah, I think one final roll of the dice and Pakistan will have a lot of dots to connect. And I think it's a relatively good start in terms of it's not a lighter opposition, but I think not a very, very crunch game had it been India to begin with.
Yeah, it's a very good point to make. I think we can carry on exactly from there, Urooj, given what happened in the Asia Cup. I'm sure somewhere it has maybe tempered expectations, maybe created doubt amongst the Pakistan cricket fans and the following there about how realistic they are. They were favourites not long ago. So how do you view this fixture? Is this the perfect, almost ideal first game for Pakistan to get?
Yeah, you could probably say that. And like you say, because the way they stumbled across in the Asia Cup, looking a formidable side on paper, but couldn't execute. And then the blow to Naseem Shah, yes, one player, a huge impact player that made up the chunk of the 30 overs that were going to be bowled by the faster bowlers. So Pakistan, I think, had to relook and revisit some of the strategies. It'll be very interesting on what team they play, considering Fakhar Zaman's form. And we heard from the director of cricket, Mickey Arthur, yesterday, giving a full vote of confidence to Shadab Khan as well, saying that he's one arm rolling away from good form in his bowling at least. So it'll depend whether they play Osama Mir or not, but a good fixture to start off, considering not the best Asia Cup for them.
Did you hear from Mickey via a link on Zoom, or was he physically present? Because some of your senior male counterparts in the men's game get very irritated with that. So is Mickey there in Hyderabad?
Well, Pakistan surprised a lot of people with the surprise first of its kinds, and this is probably one of them as well. But he has arrived, and I think it's important that he's back with a bunch of players who he showed the way earlier on, not too long ago, since 2017. Yeah. But like he said, they're not boys anymore, they're grown men, they found their ways. It's just about how those ways come together today.
Yeah, I mean, come on, this is nothing against Mickey. I love Mickey. We've had him on our show many times, and I think he's a terrific appointment wherever he goes. He only does, he leaves the team better off than he left them. So, good luck to Mickey Arthur and the rest of the Pakistan team. The point Urooj makes, though, about the absence of Naseem Shah, Dale, I wonder if you can revisit with your own history with injuries and what the loss of a premium pacer, either so close to a big World Cup or during it, has in terms of impact to the rest of the team.
I mean, it does have an impact, you know, but I suppose these days you kind of just have to get on with it. You know, what happens in these World Cups is that you're going to face injuries. You look at South Africa right now, they're missing a guy like Anrich Nortje, but it allows an opportunity for somebody else to kind of step in. And there was question marks in my mind, if I think about South Africa quickly, about who would be that guy, and Lungi Ngidi came in the other day and he bowled superbly. So Pakistan are faced with a similar kind of situation, and it just allows the next guy to kind of come in and create an opportunity for him to do something special. But there are a lot of special players in that Pakistan bowling lineup. Haris Rauf has been fantastic. Shine Shah Afridi. Shadi he's not far away from a good spell, you know. So they've got the guys that are in that squad. They just got to put it all together when it really counts.
Shadi, I like that.
Oh, we played in the PSL together.
We did, I know.
We nicknames, you know. That's how we do things now.
What's your nickname? Because Dale's a nice name, anyways.
I'm not too sure. There's so many of them, guys. I don't
Steyn
know.
Gun is what's popular around the world, but I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. Are you?
Julio, I was called for a long time. Julio.
Why were you
there's a
called
whole
Julio?
story about that.
Go on then, come on.
Oh no, you did. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, it started with Ashwell Prince and AB de Villiers calling me Dulio from slips, and then they just kind of grew from that, where it was Dulio, and then it ended up becoming Julio. That's the short version of it. Yeah.
Mr. Jaffer, any nicknames that you can recall? I know I'm digressing, but why not, since we're on the subject?
Me, I've been called Jaffa Cakes.
Jaffa
It's
Cakes.
quite popular
Yeah.
in England. So Jaffa Cakes, was, that's the normal one.
Okay, Urooj, I'm not going to force you to put yourself on the spot then, you know. I can pull their legs, I don't want to do that with you. But let's go back to the talking point. Dale makes a good point, Wasim. If you have to lose a pacer, you might as well lose one in an attack that already has Shaheen and Haris Rauf. I can't imagine if this was, say, Bumrah for India, whether you'll find a like-for-like replacement. Amongst the replacements, they've named Hassan Ali. There is Wasim Jr. that we've seen before. Do you sense it's still not as big a blow, given the rich resources Pakistan have?
It's a bigger blow, I feel, because the kind of quality that Naseem Shah, has shown, and the kind of new ball that he bowls, and then the partnership gets broken, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and then probably the guy coming in, Haris Rauf, likes to bowl one change. So the guy coming in, Hassan Ali, is not known to bowl with the new ball. He's again somebody who bowls with the new ball, one change. Sorry.
Yep.
So that breaks a little bit of the potent attack that Pakistan had in the Asia Cup. So Naseem Shah is a big loss in my opinion.
Yeah, they're winning the toss and bowling first, the Dutch. So that's the first thing that's gone down at the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium in Hyderabad, which did see some warm-up fixtures, which saw some high scores being chased as well. Now, is this a likely pattern from what we saw yesterday to Wasim, with New Zealand bowling first to their advantage? Is this the way the World Cup is likely going to go?
I think so. With October being such hot and humid conditions, you get to see a lot of dew around, and this is a good chasing ground as well. It's a good batting track. It probably gets better in the second half. We've seen that yesterday also, with New Zealand chasing so comfortably. So yeah, it's probably the pattern we'll see in this World Cup.
How would that make a Babar Azam feel, Urooj, if he has decided he's been put in to bat first? We know that it was a struggle for England to perhaps understand how to go about it. I don't know if we'll expect the same today, but thoughts on whether this is a decent toss to lose for Pakistan?
Yeah, I don't think Babar Azam will mind this too much. They do like putting up totals as well, and in the back they're bowling to defend those totals. Also, they've been in Hyderabad for over a week now. They've had both their practice games, and they've had runs batting first as well. So against New Zealand, albeit it got chased down. So I really don't think too much of an issue. Again, it comes down to their opening combination, runs on the board up front, and making use of that power play, and then setting up that platform for their big guns to then take the side to a biggish total, which we've seen Hyderabad in the last two games deliver.
Stay with me, Urooj, as I have a look at the Pakistan playing 11, and yes, Fakhar Zaman has been given the vote of confidence. So we did see Abdullah Shafiq come in towards the end of the Asia Cup, and he got a score, but Fakhar Zaman was always, we expected rather, that he will be the big tournament, big match player. So he gets the nod. Saud Shakil will bat somewhere in that middle order alongside Rizwan and Iftikhar Ahmed. And both Nawaz and Shadab play. So they've gone with the spin bowling all-rounders. Hassan Ali, as we almost predicted, will replace effectively Naseem Shah and gets the nod ahead of Wasim Jr. And that's a pretty good bowling attack regardless, with Shaheen Afridi and Haris Rauf. Thoughts on that team and the decision to back Fakhar Zaman, Urooj?
Yeah, I think the decision to back Fakhar Zaman a good one, because considering, yes, his last innings have not gone according to plan, but don't forget he's got those starts of 15, 20, 25. I don't know where the brief has come from, whether he looks a slightly different player to when he broke onto the scene, and for the longest time in his career where he took the attack on. Somewhere along the lines of the last 1 year, it almost like he's trying to construct and be the anchor, which is, I don't think is his role. I don't think he's that kind of a player. So with Mickey Arthur coming in now and then being present there, I'm hoping for that brief to change, but good to see him back. they do have a very good, solid technical batter in Abdullah Shafiq if Fakhr's plan doesn't go according, but I'm sure they'll give him at least 2 or 3 games on a trot. The only one name that I'd slashed against Mohammad Nawaz was Osama Mir in my 11, considering your frontline spinner, you've already got Shadab batting at 7. Osama Mir can also bat as much as these bowling all-rounders can. We saw him in the Manchester Originals as well towards the back end of the 100 scoring runs. That was my only thing. And Hassan Ali comes in, got the wealth of experience. He did bowl well with the new ball in the 2 practice games as well. So I think Pakistan look a good side, given they've gone with their bowling all-rounder options and the experience of Shadab and Nawaz.
All right, now that's the conundrum, Wasim, for a senior experienced opening batter. You almost thought he's definitely going to be in our World Cup 11, there's no doubt. And then the last 10 innings come upon you where he's averaging less than 20. Is this the right thing to do?
I think so. I think he's somebody who's delivered and in big games also. So you got to trust him. If he comes good, he's a match winner. So I think it's not a surprise to me.
The same logic for Hassan Ali then as well, because he wasn't part of the pre-World Cup prep with the Asia Cup or the series before that, but he's someone you call in case of an injury. You go with a senior pro instead of going with what could be another exciting young fast bowler. But is that just how it works in a World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. When it comes to World Cups, you want guys that are senior pros, been there, done that. And I think Fakhr he's 1 innings away from finding form. And luckily for him, or Pakistan, they're playing against, one of the lower ranked teams today. I mean, he could last 1 ball. I always say that. That's the thing about batting. You could last 1 ball. But if you wanted to start off his campaign against a team, you want to start off against a team where you're not as fearful. It's not a Mitchell Stark or KG Rabada running in at you today. So it gives him an opportunity to potentially put on some big runs, find some form, get this tournament kick-start and going.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fakhar Zaman gets the nod. You can imagine he'll be under some pressure though, as Urooj says. How many games do you think the management has told him, or have they told him anything at all? We'll wait and find out. Up against him will be the Dutch bowling attack, a story that has warmed the hearts if you're a neutral here, because the Netherlands were up against significant odds in the qualifiers in Zimbabwe. They had to displace at least 2 full member sides, and they managed to do that, getting the better of both Zimbabwe and the West Indies. So here they are, they've earned their spot, and this is why you should worry about them if you're a full member side. Don't take them lightly. This is the story of the Dutch.
Netherlands, the land of total football, where every individual contributed equally to the team's cause. But in cricket, their journey to World Cup qualification has been about individuals rising to the occasion. In their qualification match against West Indies, Logan van Beek did almost everything except maybe umpiring. Chasing 375, Netherlands needed 47 in the last 3 overs to win. Van Beek smashed a 14-ball 28 to take the game into a super over. Then he turned up with the bat and smashed 30 runs in the super over. And just when you thought he couldn't do more, he bowled the super over for Netherlands, taking 2 wickets and winning them the match. Against Scotland, it was Bas de Leede who did it all. His 5-wicket haul meant Netherlands needed to chase down 278 within 44 overs to qualify for the World Cup. If that effort wasn't enough, he decided to turn up with bat as well, scoring 123 of 92 balls. Netherlands chased the target down successfully in 42.5 overs. So that's what they did to get here. But now, what are they like to face? If you're a bowler, all the best getting wickets against this Dutch side in the power play. They rank 2nd when it comes to runs per wicket in overs 1 to 10, only behind India. When you look at opening pairs that have added the most runs since the 2019 World Cup, Max O'Dowd and Vikramjit Singh from Netherlands ranked 3rd. But there's one big issue. The Dutch can't stomach spin. That has to rank 2nd in major issues to have when touring India, with not being able to stomach spicy food taking 1st spot. The other issue is that they struggle to control overs 11 to 40 with the ball in hand. There's no team that will feature in this World Cup that has been as bad as the Dutch in the last 4 years in overs 11 to 40. Alright, but remember how we told you about individuals rising to the occasion? So first there's Logan van Beek, whose exploits you now already know about. Among active Dutch players, Van Beek is the leading wicket taker with 34 wickets in 25 ODIs. Then of course there's that man Bas de Leede. In the 7 World Cup qualifier matches he played, he scored 285 runs and took 15 wickets. In fact, he became only the 4th player to come up with 100 and a fifer in the same men's ODI. And finally there's Max O'Dowd. Post the 2019 World Cup, the opener averages 74 in the power play phase. That's the 5th best among players featuring at this World Cup. So, can this Dutch team cause an upset or two? Well, that depends on which individual decides to rise to the occasion.
It is a wonderful story for the Netherlands. It's never easy for an associate side, especially with the challenges that you face coming into a 10-team World Cup. But they've earned their right to be here. Some of those games were incredible. I mean, I remember I was in Zimbabwe at the time, and the Dutch were in Harare. I was in Bulawayo, and I was watching the game against the West Indies, which went bizarrely to a tie. They were chasing 350, 360, and then the host broadcaster thought that the game was over, so he cut it off. So we didn't get to watch the Super Over.
Oh no.
Therefore came the ESPN Cricket for Mobile app, and that was not a plug. That was actually a true story. There were a number of us following it there, and we thought that's the best they could do. And then came the game against Scotland, who were also impressive, Dale, and then they managed to chase a 300-plus score in some 40-odd overs. That's the game that we're talking about with Bas de Leede. And you spoke of the New Zealand spirit yesterday and how it just comes together. From your experience, because this isn't, they now have done about 4 or 5 of these across T20 and 50-over World Cups. What is it about the Dutch spirit, from what you know?
Look, they're just a bunch of good guys all around. They kind of all hang out together. There's no massive superstars in their team, so they rely on a full team effort to kind of win their games. I say that, but you do have these individuals that step up. Logan van Beek, Bas de Leede playing those kind of performances. But they do rely on everyone to kind of come to the party. And I was with them now in Trivandrum, and they invited me down for a coffee on the first floor, and everyone was there. Everyone was enjoying each other's company. They just feel like one big family. They don't get these opportunities all the time, so they're really enjoying each other's company, and they're just soaking it all up, And I do feel for them at the start of this tournament, because they haven't played a lot of cricket, especially against high-quality opposition. So I suspect that they'll have an upset somewhere along the line in this World Cup, because they're that kind of team that can do that. But maybe at the start right now and today it might not happen. But as they play and they get more confidence and the guys become more familiar with the surfaces, you could find that they could knock a team out of potentially making a semi-final like they did with South Africa a couple months ago. Those kinds of things, that's what could be on their cards for them.
I think it's a very interesting point Dale makes. We almost take it for granted, Wasim, but you've coached domestic sides, under 19 sides. At times, perhaps those are the teams where you see the innocence of a team coming together, perhaps more discipline. At times, the higher levels, it's not easy to get the entire team together to have a coffee at one time. Everyone's, of course, in their own thing, and that's just a natural, I guess, progression of how cricketers evolve in today's times. But somewhere is that a great understated value? A team with these odds just plays more like a team, feels like a team even off the park?
I think so. And they play a lot of cricket together, because there are not many players in those associate teams. Those are the same guys who are playing time and again, and obviously they hang out, like Dale said, and they look out for these opportunities. It's a big occasion for them to showcase their skills. Some of the players play around the leagues, so they know, playing against these players. So they're kind of looking for these opportunities, and I won't be surprised. I mean, Dale is perfectly right there that at the start of the tournament they might be a little rusty. They haven't got a game time. But as the tournament gets, comes to the middle stage, I think you will see a little bit of surprise there.
Yeah, and of course, remember, they would take great pride in having fixtures against the top nations, and they've got games against Bangladesh, Afghanistan. They'd be going into that almost thinking as equals, or maybe even favourites. So that's the confidence that the Dutch team gives. Let's have a look at the team that Scott Edwards led so well in the qualifiers, and therefore has earned the right to lead them at an ICC Men's Cricket World Cup. Vikramjit Singh and Max O'Dowd's numbers that you saw in that package, I'm going to come to that in a second. How good were they? And they've been key to the success for the Dutch. Colin Ackerman at 3. What a lovely day for the De Leede family, 27 years apart, and Tim and Bas have both featured now as father and son in Men's Cricket World Cups, and as it turns out, both in India. Tejan Nithamururu's got something about him. He bowls a very handy spin, So keep an eye out for him. So too Saqib Zulfikar, left arm spinner. So they've got options. This is a team that has 6, 7 bowling options. Roloff van der Merwe, the grand old man of South Africa and now the Netherlands. Young Aryan Dutt and Paul van Meekeren will take seam bowling responsibilities. But yeah, Roloff, he doesn't go away, does he? Roloff van der Merwe. He can play with one arm and one leg.
No, he doesn't stop. He's 39 now, and you know, I don't think he's aged a day in terms of like getting old is mandatory, you know, but like choosing to become old is an option, you know, and he's not taken that option. He is staying young. He's super fit. And he is a crazy competitor. You know, earlier this year we had him part of our Sunrisers Eastern Cape in South Africa. He wasn't originally planned as being in the starting 11, but just through sheer like being around the team, throwing balls, fielding, we thought, well, we'll give this guy a crack. Ended up becoming the leading wicket taker and the MVP of the tournament, and led us to win that competition. You never know, you know, here's another opportunity for him. He loves big tournaments.
Yeah, just
he was with us. I remember in 2009 RCB.
Yeah.
He was with the RCB team, both of us playing for RCB, and he was there, and we are on the sideline.
We're sitting here, yeah.
And he's still going strong.
Hey, you guys could try maybe for the Dutch, Wasim Jaffer. You won't make it to that team. Look at the opening batters and the numbers that they have. But how impressive was that? That they're in a list of Rohit and Shubman and Tamim and Litton and Finch and Warner. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said. You know, you play so much together that you kind of become friends and kind of a family. And that's a good thing about those players, that they keep on playing and they keep getting better. So it's a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, Urooj is a little worried right now. She's like, what are you talking the Dutch up so much? You know, that's not what I need to hear right now. That's not what the Pakistan-loving, cricket-loving public need to hear. But let's get into a detailed chat about Pakistan and what exactly are their red flags, Urooj, after what we've seen in the Asia Cup, and what is it that you'd like to see them address? So let's start with you. You can take us point by point, take some time over it. There are questions to answer, but why don't you lead us into what you think Pakistan's biggest concerns and red flags are?
I mean, I think you can break them down into 3 major discussion points. I think we've alluded to this in the Asia Cup as well. To start off with, Pakistan heavily reliant bank on the top 2, giving them big runs and a platform for Babar, Rizwan and company to then take them to big scores, which they then defend. Off late, Fakhar Zaman hasn't been, we've seen his numbers. I don't think we need to dwell further into it, and that's been a huge issue. When Pakistan lose a couple of wickets in the power play, so it sort of stumbles from there, and then you end up with those 250, 260s kind of scores, which in this World Cup, given oppositions in terms of batting and bowling, might not be enough. So that Imam ul Haq has been a constant. Imam and Fakhar's numbers have been great, but they do need to come together. So I feel that the over-reliance on that top for then the middle order to score. The other big glaring issue is the lack of a frontline quality spinner. Given the World Cups in India, yes, it's the start of the season and a spin will eventually come into play, and you see these teams have one quality spinner, if not 2. And Shadab, yes, we're all banking on him to get that one performance where he does click back into form. But him and Nawaz, I don't think they constitute that frontline quality spinner. And that's been Pakistan's issue, not from today, but I think from when Saeed Ajmal and Yasir Shah respectively retired in their format. So that's been a big issue. They did bowl Osama Mir in the warm-up games, which is a good sign. So and I thought he bowled well with better control. He got some turn as well, and because he's slightly tall, he gets a bit of bounce. So he can be one key that does come into the middle period. And because of that quality spin lacking, we fail to pick up wickets in the middle over of the game. So that 11 to 40 becomes more of a meandering along phase where the opposition keeps picking between 5 and 7, and then they have a launch pad. And then obviously like I completely agree with what Wasim said, that Naseem Shah is going to be huge, and why that is because Pakistan's bench has been slightly undercooked. We didn't utilize the players like Abdullah Shafiq, Saud Shakil, Osama Mir, and then the faster bowlers in Wasim Jr. is now obviously sitting on the bench as opposed to Hassan Ali coming in. So I still feel Naseem Shah, especially with that bowling up front, will be a big shoes to fill in for Hassan Ali. Yes, he's got the wealth of experience, but I think Pakistan heavily rely on the top first 10 overs in Naseem and Shaheen Shafi to get breakthroughs for the opposition. So I still feel those 3 things will be major challenges for Pakistan. They've got the quality, but it's execution time now.
All right, that is an excellent setup by Urooj on the three key aspects where Pakistan need to work on, and I guess this sets up a mouth-watering prospect given we saw those numbers, Wasim. The Dutch struggle to keep the opposition down in the middle overs. That is something Pakistan also need to try and cash in on if they don't get the kind of starts that they do. Let's just talk about Mohammad Rizwan very quickly, shall we? Because he's a key player for them, and he could very well be an important player if Pakistan do well. If you look at his numbers against pace and spin, you've got a Rizwan who averages over 100 against spin in ODIs in 2023. The Dutch will throw a lot of spin on them. There's Van der Merwe, there's Aryan Dutt. I said he's going to take pace responsibilities. I meant new ball responsibilities because Aryan Dutt's already got the ball in hand, the 20-year-old off spinner. So they start a little differently. So, and you also have Saqib Zulfikar there. So Rizwan as a key player in the middle perhaps, because now that their top order is a bit hit and miss, he becomes the key man for them.
As it is, I mean, number 4 is such a crucial number in the ODIs, and he's got runs, but hasn't got it consistently. And there's a lot of pressure on Babar Azam. The other guys haven't stood up to the expectation.
Yeah.
So this is the game where some of their batters need to come good. And Rizwan again, he plays spin really well, but they've got 3 decent seamers other than Roelf van der Merwe and Aryan Dutt.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look that bad for Netherlands, but the Pakistani batters, they need to take some pressure off Babar Azam.
Yeah, I guess some way it's nice when you know your team, that it doesn't matter. We're saying, oh, maybe see if it swings a little bit with the new ball. But I know Aryan Dutt often takes like the new ball for them, and it doesn't matter. He's going to bowl, an off spinner is going to bowl in the first game for the Netherlands in the World Cup.
Yep.
Just Netherlands doing what they know.
That's it. They're just sticking to their plans, what they like to do. I saw them the other night against Australia. Game reduced to 26 overs or whatever it was. Covers have been on the pitch the whole time, and I thought seamers will come out and there will definitely be a little bit. And they started with off spin. So they've got their kind of plans and the way that they want to go about it, and they're not going to break that.
And it's a heck of a start as well. You just kept from the corner of our eye. There's some turn from that first ball that you saw across the outside edge of Fakar.
Not that much, but yeah, I mean, 2 left-handers, so I think it's a good option. And somebody who can bowl decently will be in the game.
All right, let's go to Urooj Mumtaz. I don't know if that one ball is going to get her too bothered with what her first innings prediction score is. I don't know if it'll get poor Fakhar Zaman a little bothered. He's like, come on, man, give me a nice gentle seamer. Hopefully it won't swing and I'll get some runs. Right, Urooj, big game for Pakistan to start their World Cup on an auspicious note. Hyderabad's a high-scoring venue. What do you sense they'll get?
Well, Pakistan should look to get over 300, so I'd back them with around 315.
315 says Urooj Mumtaz. Wasim Jaffer.
325.
Sorry, Dale, I've again put you last because you get influenced so easily by what everyone else says. But you could say 250 today if it was at the edge.
I'm actually not too sure. I think the first 10 overs is going to determine how the Dutch go with the ball. If they bowl well, then 300. I think still 300 is going to be like par. So I'm going to go 330.
Okay, you suddenly went to 330. I thought you were going to go lower.
Yeah.
You just changed it up there. All right, so 315, 325, 330. Right, just for fun, I'm going to put in a 270 or something in there. I still think it'll be enough, but I'm going to put in a 270. Just add a little variety. Urooj, thank you very much. Pick up the chat at the end of the Pakistan innings. Wasim Jaffer, Dale Steyn will be with us as well. Look forward to your company. This is the World Cup, so it's quite exciting to get each team underway. And let's see how Pakistan go in their first outing. Join us for analysis at the end of the innings on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, and do download the mobile app if you haven't already. The fastest live scores, news, analysis, videos and plenty more as we have our fine men and women that cover the Cricket World Cup for you at the grounds, and of course we'll get you the sharpest insight of it in studio. See you at the end of the innings.
Stunning looks, then swift,